Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to today's session of Scale Up. And the main idea behind Scale Up is just a minute. Scale Up. Yeah, the main idea behind Scale Up is to help people develop skills at their own pace. So it all have to do with you knowing where you are, the resources you have, so who you are and what you have around you. Then you plan towards it. And then after planning towards it, you execute all those plans. And it's a loop. So you keep iterating and then also evaluating your strategies, changing your strategies, tweaking them to get the the best. Yeah, so today what I want to talk about is something that I've identified as a paradox. It's so funny. I don't know how to call it again than to say it's a paradox. That is um, the fact that we always say that yes, your tech skills will push you forward. They are the things that people want to see, but in reality, it doesn't always look like that. Most often, companies who prefer or people will prefer to work with people who have a mindset of resilience, grit, just wanting to achieve more than people who are highly competent. And that's more like a paradox. So it looks like, yes, you are being hired for your tech skills, you are being hired for basic things you can do. But the reality is that they expect a different thing from you. Things that are sometimes not even in the JD, the job description, like your problem solving skills, your ability to network with people, and the likes. So when I was thinking through it, I got to realize that two things play key roles in this. So in summary of what I've just said so far is that yes, we admire people who happens to be mavens and prodigies, and then we believe that talent is a key to success. But in reality, consistency, effort, resilience, learning from failure, like So I heard something from Steve Butler of Diary of the CEO recently, and he was like, I know he has someone in charge of failure, like head of failure. I was like, no, head of experimentation. Is it either head of experimentation or head of failure? And I'm like, guy, what's up with you? You have and then like you employ someone to be the head of failure. And but I get the idea there. And he was like, um, oh, I've forgotten. But he was just able to link everything. I've forgotten, but he was more like failure is results and failing is result and result is knowledge and knowledge is power. So it's just a loop through. If you invest into failing, you get to know more. It's still information. So you use failure is information, information is knowledge, and knowledge is power. That's what he said. And it's like, yeah, the guy that makes sense. Like he's just saying a lot of things and it makes a lot of sense. A lot. And when you look at most of the inventions that we have in the world, some of them are results of failure. A lot of people make reference to Thomas Edison's bulb failing 10,000 times, and they say, "Yeah, I just learned 10,000 or 1,000 ways of not doing." Yeah, and then things happen unexpectedly. They happened as accidents, microwaves, a lot of things just happened as accidents, and at the normal look, you think, yeah, it's failing, but in reality, it's not. So back to what I was saying, that I've noticed that two things happen to be contributing factors. There are lots of them, but I'll talk about just one, which happens to be two. That is the nature and then the nature. The nature is so that's the nature and then the nature. The nature is more like natural. People who are born with a set of skills, people who it's like they are him from from birth. They are born. It's inborn. So inborn abilities, genetics, predispositioning. Yeah, those all those things sometimes contribute to the nature aspect. People are naturally born with high IQs and then great coordination. So naturally, when you meet those people in, if someone has great coordination and you meet him in sports, it will be very difficult for you to compete with that person. But if the person doesn't build his if the person doesn't build his nature, if the nature is not done well, that person might not even lose the IQ. But what will happen is that someone who has a zero starter will now advance over the person. So it's more like the nature is you not starting from zero. So you are already at 10. So all you need to do is to push for 70% to get 80 to get an A, right? Than someone who is already at zero. But if you have the nature and you decide that no, you're not going to push through, you are not going to, you're no, you are already good, you're already good. By the time you know someone who is at zero will just push through and then make it better. Now, since the nature is something we don't have control over, you don't have much control over your genetics and what you have available. Whether you want to be a lawyer and your father has never heard the profession called lawyer before, those things are things you don't have control over. But what you have control over is the nature. So the nature has to do with the training, the environment, and then the mindset. Wherever you are, you have control over this. You have control over the kind of training you receive, the environment, and what the environment gives you, and what you can also take from the environment. It's not everything that the environment gives you that you take. Yeah, and then the mindsets, key among them, the mindset, the great mindset. I'll highly recommend. There's a book, great. I've forgotten the exact title. Yeah, I've forgotten the exact title. You can there's a book about great, and then there's also a TED talk. I've forgotten their name. Sorry. So just go and then YouTube TED talk great, GRIT. Yeah, watch them. But there's another book about there's another book about mindset from Carol. I've forgotten his name. Sorry. I'm just not good at keeping people's names. Yeah. So Carol has a book about the growth mindset. Yeah, that I can remember the book about the growth mindset. So this then nature has nothing to do with you being born with talent, you know, being born with talent. No, this have to do with you as an individual. And all you need to do is to get your good mindset, put your mindset together, extract from the environment, and trust me, you will be good. And one thing that is very important in this is your support system, your parents, your coach, your mentors. And even if you don't have parents or you don't have parents who support you in this, coaches are always available. You are in a classroom and you have at least 12 teachers in your schools. You can select from any of them. There are people, your neighbors, you meet people, you admire something about someone. Just tell the person, hey, um, I really want to learn this, but I don't know how to start. And I think you are doing this. Can you help me? Or sometimes too, the person doesn't know much about um, what you are doing, but the person can assist. Example, I don't need to be a geography teacher to teach my sister, to guide my sister to learn geography. Yeah, because I can just give her the basic principles of learning and she will just apply them to pass her geography exam. So the human factor, which has to be the support system, plays a very important role in this. So key points, what I've said indirectly is that talent open doors, but effort, mindset, and support determines how far you will walk through this door. Sometimes you might just be standing in front of the door. If you have just the talent without nothing in addition to the talent, you just be standing in front of the door. And anytime that door closes, you are not in the room. But what will make you move further in it is the effort you put into it, the mindset, the support systems that you have. This will determine how far you will go in this. And don't forget the great factor, your perseverance, be resilient. Okay. Yeah. So that's one thing I want to tell you on this journey. Okay. So that's all I have for day 41 of Scale Up Challenge. We have 9 days to go. Yeah, so probably maybe what do I have as an advantage? Because I started and then I ended before time. I was supposed to do 50 days, and surprisingly, I finished all my tasks and all my goals before the 50 days. Yeah, I think I have the um, nature as an advantage because I was able to use my environment. There are days that I don't do anything, so I just leveraged on all those. Yeah, so you can equally do it. You have 9 days to make an impact. See you.